Hello, so I thought I would explain. So basically, we were on day 4 of the loop yesterday, and then I was getting like these emails and these notifications. Basically, what was meant to happen is we were meant to do day 4 of the loop. So you do day 4 and they bring you back to the starting point at around 5 p.m. and then 4 p.m. and then you get your bus back to wherever. You can pick some destinations, some are free, and then if you were going to like Sapa, it costs more. Anyways, and then so we were meant to come back to Hanoi. We had booked an hotel right next to the airport because we were meant to fly the next day to Ho Chi Minh City, and yeah, basically that was on the Saturday, but basically it turns out that we had actually booked for the Friday, so we missed our flight. We lost out on a night of accommodation in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, so we had to buy new flights. We had to book accommodation for Hanoi. To be fair, we got the accommodation for €19, so that's fine. The flights were €70 each to include bags. We picked the 9:15 bus. I'd say, as I said before, we're running on 3 hours of sleep. We get to the airport, and on the flight information, it doesn't say what terminal. It doesn't say. Obviously, it is domestic, but it didn't say that. So we just thought it'd just be a branch of airport that we'll just go into. We had to get a shuttle bus. And we got the shuttle bus, and then we were worried about time because it was like 7:30 at this point, and the flight was obviously at 9:15, and we still had to check in our bags. So we got the shuttle bus, and the flight wasn't on the board, and I was like, this is strange. So we went to the information desk, and I told her the flight number, and she was like, oh yes, it has been changed from 9:15 to 2:30 p.m. 2:30 p.m. Like, it's actually laughable, because what we were hoping to do is we thought possibly we might just power through. We might just drop our bags in the hotel, have a shower, and just power through and just go sightseeing straight away, because we're obviously running on less time than we thought of, and we're trying to see everything. So yeah, we're delirious. We got, but don't worry, we got a meal voucher of 70,000 dong. Just so you know, it's the equivalent of a price of a small cappuccino. So I got a cup of tea, to be fair, which was 25,000 dong. So it was a cheap one. So we've got this croissant that actually looks pretty good now, to be fair. But yeah, the bag's underneath my eyes. It's not looking good. It's not great, to be honest. And sticky. But yeah. I also miss everyone on the loop because they were all great. So 110% recommend doing the loop. It's great. So we just had the tea and the croissant, and the croissant was actually warm. It's very nice. So it's 9:23. Feel awful. Anyway, I think we're gonna go get a lounge. Before we came on the trip, Revolut were doing like a free trial. Was it a free trial? I think you signed up and you get like 2-3 months free of premium Revolut services. That includes lounges, and we've bought lounges before on Revolut, and they've been like €34, 35, and it's been for London. So you do make your money back, or we always make our money back, to be fair, because London is very expensive. So we do find it very worthwhile if you're ever in a London airport. We've done like Heathrow, and I think it was Gatwick. We've done sorry, this kid just threw a toy across the room, or the airport, sorry. So we've done Heathrow a few times, and I think Gatwick was the other one. and they've both been very good, and they are worth the money. So we're flying Hanoi Airport. We're in Terminal 1, so the domestic, and it doesn't necessarily come up on Revolut, so just search Hanoi and the international ones, and then just press on that, and then it'll say Terminal 1 or Terminal 2. So there's 3 options for Terminal 1. So one doesn't include alcoholic drinks, which I don't even want to drink right now just because it's 9:23 in the morning. But we always have done in London, and I don't know, I feel like that's how you make up your money for it, but they do have food and stuff. I don't really know. I shouldn't have really pulled out my camera because I can't really pull together a sentence, but we were looking at what we want to get done, and I think there's a market, I forget the name, Chi Tunnels and the War Museum, I think, are top 3 priorities. We were like, should we like TikTok it tonight? We don't have a lot of research done. And now, because that flight was messed up, that we booked it for the wrong day, I'm like really worried that there's something else like left in the trip that like is also like not right. I don't know. I'm also sunburnt. That was what I wanted to say. I wore sunscreen. We wore sunscreen and bug spray every single day except for the last day. I think it was a combination of being really tired because we stayed up late and chatting to the people in our group, and then we were every night you'd try and like pack your bags so it'd be done for the next day, because like breakfast would be at like 8 a.m. except the last day breakfast was at 9 a.m. So I didn't put on sunscreen, but I put on bug spray, and my shoulders just got burned, and it's just bright red, and it's just awful. And it's the 7th of June, so if you're planning on doing the Hanoi Loop start of June, I feel like it's pretty much of a mixed bag. We did have like cloudy, a lot of days it was just cloudy, a lot of when you're stopping at the viewpoints we just saw clouds. It was still a great trip, but it's just something to note. So we went back, we shared a pizza and we shared pasta, and we got like this starter. It was like this like bread, but it wasn't, how usually sometimes you get that type of bread and you'd have like a garlic cheese dip or something. We had mashed potato, but it was actually really nice, and it was such a nice dinner. And honestly, it was just nice to have a change, to be really honest. I know I had pizza last night, but it was cold and it was only okay. So there's funny, so we like watched like 3 seconds of it, and then so basically after dinner we wanted ice cream, so we just put in like a random gelato place, and this was like on the way back to the hotel. But that like concert thing has been like set up for a few days. So that lady in the car there, she was singing on the stage, and then I had just put in Google Maps like the hotel, but we kept being like turned away by police, like they had a barricade. And then eventually one police officer was like, no, you're just going to keep getting blocked off, go down to the river and basically just walk up basically. But we're just after running into like her car, and like loads of people were just like wanting to stop and like autographs. I don't know, I don't know who she is, but we just thought it was very funny. But it's also 5 to 11 and our flight is 5 to 7 in the morning, so you might have to go to the airport around 4 a.m. We don't know yet, and we still need to pack. So update on the Monday the 9th of June at 4:03 in the morning. I feel like shit. Got 3.5 hours of sleep. Really wish we went to bed earlier. That would have been so nice. But our dinner was really nice, to be fair, and I think this could be our grab, so goodbye. Hello, it is the 9th of June It was 6:10 in the morning. I think I did an intro at the airport. I can't really tell, to be honest. As usual, running off very low amount of sleep. What set me off, or what almost set me over the edge, was trying to order a cup of tea. There was miscommunication, but basically miscommunication got resolved, but basically there was two things on the till, and I thought he was charging me for the two things, and I was like, oh sorry, like is this still on the till, like it's 185, and then yeah, eventually got it, but I asked for a black tea. Iced black tea. I don't think I've ever had it iced tea in my whole life. I just didn't have the energy. My own fault. I don't speak Vietnamese. So it's 4 hours to fly from Ho Chi Minh to Bali. If you're coming to Ho Chi Minh Airport, and if you come to the food court bit, everything is in US dollars, which I think was funny. And Burger King is like $18. I don't know. Okay, goodbye. Oh, also you definitely need 3 hours when you come here. If you want to queue up for Red Star, check your bag, yada yada, decide 15 minutes on where you want to eat, and now we're gonna walk to the gate.